We're in the Muleshoe home of Don and Ann McElroy, and we are going to talk to Don about what he is doing just this winter in regards to the Texas Groundwater Association. Don, you're fixing to be installed as the what?
The president of the Texas Groundwater Association.
That is quite an honor. How many members does this association have?
1,600 statewide.
1,600. Now, how old is the organization?
55 or 60 years old.
And it is extremely important to especially our area, but really all of Texas and really all of the world, if you think about it. And who can be a member of the Texas Groundwater Association?
Anybody that wants to, really. We have 3 divisions: the groundwater scientists, the manufacturers and suppliers, and the contractors divisions. So between those 3 people, a lot of folks have an interest.
That certainly is important to us. And of course, you and your son, Eric, here in Muleshoe are in Irrigation Pumps and Power Incorporated, and so that would fall right into your line of profession. But tell us how you got into that particular profession, Don.
Oh, me. The summer before my freshman year in high school, I'd been working at a grocery store.
And where was this grocery store?
In Rawls, Texas, and it was hard work. A lot of hours working on the concrete and what have you. And my dad helped me get a job with a local pump service guy.
Now, what was your father's name?
Estrel McElroy. And anyway, he helped me get the job, and so I started. And, everybody thought it was hard work, but I thought it was a picnic because we quit about 5 or 6. We didn't work till midnight. And it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. And I worked for Hinton Well Service in Rawls for 9 summers and some weekends during the year.
And so that's how it all started. You were a young man in Rawls, Texas, right?
Correct. And I worked on through college. After I got out at Tech, I told myself I wasn't going to get within 10 feet or 100 yards of a pump pulling rig. And that lasted for a year or 2. And here I am.
And what year did you move to Muleshoe?
Moved to Muleshoe in 1977.
From where?
Been in Lubbock.
Now, did you actually start Irrigation Pumps and Power, or did you buy a business that already existed?
No, 2 of us started. I started as a partner with a guy that lived in Lubbock, and a couple of years later I ended up with it.
And what was your partner's name at the beginning?
Jim Clary.
And he never lived here?
No.
And so now you have you worked up the line in your association to become the president, or was this your first position in the office this year, this coming, well, it is this year, isn't it already?
Well, you start off as a secretary and vice president and then president-elect and, that kind of stuff.
So you've worked up. And so, Ann, have you been involved in any way in the association?
Well, I'm a little bit involved. The ladies have an association. I guess I should say spouses, because some of us are men.
Yes.
So there's an association of spouses, and we do a project every year. It's a charitable project, and support our members.
And now, what kind of charitable projects have you done?
Well, it varies. This past year, we did a benefit for the Wounded Warriors. It was a cookbook that we did, And the year before that, it was a cancer screening and awareness program. So it varies. Just depends on what the group's interested in.
I see. Well, that's very. Now, listen, I wonder, how did Ann come into your life? Where did you find Ann? Where is she from?
She found me.
I knew he was going to say that. Is that true, Ann?
It actually is.
It is?
Yeah.
You really found. Okay. Who's going to tell the story?
I'll tell it, but
Okay.
it'll be brief.
Okay.
I was friends with his brother. I lived in Austin. I had lived in Austin for, I don't know, several decades. And I became a single woman in my early 50s, and I had to find a good man. So I asked his brother if he knew any good men. And first he said, well, he couldn't really think of any. And then after a few second thoughts and some more prodding from me, he said, well, I do have this brother in Muleshoe, Texas.
Now, did you know that he had a brother?
No, not till he told me that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that
You were lucky, weren't you?
I think so. I think so.
How many years have you been married now?
15.
15 years. Time flies, doesn't it, Don?
It does.
It certainly does. Now, go ahead.
I started to say I'm the lucky one.
Well, I think you're both lucky, probably, don't you think?
Yes.
Now, let's go back to the association. Now, really, what is the purpose of the Texas Groundwater Association?
Oh, I guess you'd say it's to promote the wise use of Texas groundwater.
And you know, we can all really do a little bit, can't we, to really help that along?
Oh, yes. It's, people take water for granted.
Yes.
And until you don't have it or it's limited, then you start thinking about ways to conserve, and that's the mode we're in now, is trying to conservation. Yep.
You know, I notice in the news that there are a lot of communities that have to, at times, stop their water supply in the cities, especially the size of Muleshoe. But Muleshoe, our city fathers have been, and by the way, your son Eric is one of our city fathers, and have been very progressive in seeing that we here in Muleshoe have a good supply of water in our city. So we should all be grateful for that. But back to 77 when you moved here, what's the difference in 77 and 2015 in the water supply that we have in West Texas and the Muleshoe area?
Oh, there's really no comparison. You know, we had very adequate water and didn't really appreciate it.
Yes.
We've wasted a lot of water, and the whole area above the Ogallala has been involved in mining the water, and it's it's starting to dawn on us that it's a finite resource, and we're going to have to really take care of what we got left.
Don McElroy, now when will you be installed as the president of the Texas Groundwater Association?
Be installed in about the middle of February in San Marcos, Texas.
Now, will this be at a state convention or an annual convention or just a meeting of the officers?
No, it's a statewide convention, and we have the meetings and fundraisers, and it's a big deal for us. Mm-hmm. We have a really neat scholarship program that we're proud of, that we all work on, and so we have several events that are designed to raise money for the scholarship program. Mm-hmm. We currently have I think 24 young kids on scholarship, and they each get $300 a semester, and it's we're really proud of that. It's grown from, I think in 1990 we had 3 kids, and I know that well because Stacy was one of them.
Your daughter, Stacy.
In 1990, yes.
Well, that I know the importance of that and the encouragement, not just the money, but the encouragement that it gives to a young person. Now, in what areas are these young people studying?
We don't limit the area. It's whatever they're interested in. Of course, if the science field is neat for us, but it's whatever.
What is the future of water in the Muleshoe area?
Well, it's not going to get any better, and we're going to have less and less, and we're going to have to do with less. But it's not all doom and gloom. We'll still be here, and I predict that we'll still irrigate. It'll just be it'll be differently. And
we moved here in 1954, and we came from Lynn County, where there was very little irrigation, if any, really. I don't remember irrigation until we got to Muleshoe. And, of course, it was different type of irrigation completely at that time. But a lot of Lynn County farmers had moved already to Muleshoe because it was water makes the difference. And this is where the water was. Can we still say this is where the water is?
Well, we've got some. We'd like to have a lot of it back that we've wasted, but we've got water, and this will be an irrigated farmland for several years. It'll just be, the farming will be with bigger operators, and the land will be farmed less intensively and irrigated less, but we'll be irrigating.
Now, at your convention in February at San Marcos, what will will there be some seminars or workshops? Some of the topics or speakers?
There will be speakers, and the TDLR, Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, issues our statewide license, and they require certain CEUs, and so we have experts in the fields come in and hold the classes that lets us earn the CEUs, and then we have the big exhibit hall with the latest and greatest, equipment and supplies, and it's a big deal for us.
Don, in your years in your profession, what do you think is the most important innovative idea that has come around in the groundwater industry?
Oh, I would say locally, center pivot irrigation probably is the most important. It's allowed the groundwater that's used to be used much more beneficially, and center pivots, and then recently the subsurface drip irrigation has really allowed a lot more beneficial use of our groundwater.
Now, Ann, did you have an observation about that?
Well, I've spent 15 years observing what goes on in Don's business, and what I've seen more than anything is just a change in the mindset of people, not only people in the industry like Don, but farmers that I know who now talk about conservation and prolonging the useful life of the land and better farming practices, just more attention to how we can conserve water rather than just use water.
And I think probably public service announcements and people being educated at a young age. I know my granddaughters talk about turn the water off, Grandmommy, when you are brushing your teeth. You know, those kind of things are important, conserving our water. And they're 9 and 5 years of age. And so if you teach a little one conservation in any area, water or anything else, well, that is a lesson for a lifetime.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It really is.
Now, and tell me, you all not only live in Muleshoe, but you live where?
We live in San Saba, Texas also.
Now, tell me where San Saba is. What county?
San Saba County. And it's right in the middle of the state of Texas.
So it must be near Brady.
It's near Brady. It's near Goldthwaite, Lampasas, Llano. If you think about those cities, we're kind of right in the middle of that area.
And so are you enjoying your time there?
We love it there. I mean, we love San Saba, but we love Muleshoe. And we love to come back here. I mean, this is I get teary kind of. It's a special place.
Don, you reared your 3 children here in Muleshoe. So tell us about them and where they are living today and what they're doing.
Stacy, my oldest daughter, graduated from Muleshoe High School in 1990. She lives in Austin, has 3 kids, married to a lawyer, and is just busy all the time.
Now, what is his name?
Bill Johnson.
Okay.
Of course, Eric was a 93 graduate, and he is here in town. He has 3 kids, has a new wife, Mallory.
And she can cook. Have you found that out?
I get an invitation fairly often when I'm in town.
Oh, I tell you, she is a wonderful cook.
And Eric runs our business. We're partners, and he does all the day-to-day stuff. And then my baby, Reagan, should have graduated from Muleshoe High School in 97, but she was on a Rotary exchange program, so she went straight to college. And all 3 of my kids got a degree from SMU, and I need to backtrack. Reagan is in Phoenix, and she has 3 kids, and her husband, Adam Hatch, is in the construction business.
So how many grandchildren does that make you?
Oh, well, I lose track. I've got 9. Ann has 8. And so we have 17 between us. And we never run out of a chore to do for grandkids.
I bet. Now, Ann, you get equal time. Tell us about your family.
Well, I have 3 children. I have twins they're identical twins, 39 years old. And they both live in Austin. And they're married, and they have kids, and there's part of that 17 that Don just mentioned.
And what are your twins' names?
There's Casey Andrews and Cody Bradstreet, and they're girls, although they have gender-neutral names. I was a progressive woman back then.
And you're not today?
No, I've changed. I live in Muleshoe now. Oh. And then my baby daughter.
Well, I don't like that idea that you live in Muleshoe now, and so you're not a progressive woman.
I think I'm much wiser than I used to be.
Oh, I see.
When I thought I was progressive.
I see.
And then my baby daughter is Stephanie Toops, and she lives in Dallas. She has 2 children, and her husband's name is Thad, and he's a petroleum engineer. And she's a stay-at-home mom.
Well, isn't that wonderful? 18 grandchildren. My goodness. I just can't imagine. And it happened overnight, didn't it, Don?
Happened pretty quick. Pretty quick. But I do know all their names.
Good.
And so.
Well, I thought you did wonderful, and I won't say for a man. I'll just say I think you did wonderful. And we've been talking with Don and Ann McElroy here in Muleshoe at their home. And Don will be installed as the new president of the Texas Groundwater Association in San Marcos at their state convention in the middle of February. Congratulations to you, Don.
Thank you very much.